Up and over, Chief.
All right. So, I'm a bit of a Halo fan, all
Bravo
right?
team, this
I
is
know.
Ghost.
I hide
Good.
it very well. You can't
Fall
even
back to
tell.
the extraction point.
You can't even
Roger
tell
that.
I have a
Real
condition.
tally.
Uh, but because of that, I have my thoughts on the series, right? Um, some very no, actually my thoughts are pretty generic. None of them are too pointed. I think, but then I could be wrong. The internet is a big place. For every one person that agrees with you, there's two that don't. So, probably somewhere in the middle there. But you know, I have my opinions, so we'll share them. But some good context for those opinions is where I started with the franchise. So I'll give that context. Um, let's see. I think my first experiences with Halo were like going over to my buddy's house and playing Halo 3 on his 360, and you know, I think it was like three of us, me and my two like best friends, right? We'd all play Halo 3, and I would actually get the actual life slapped out of me by them because they knew how to play. I didn't. I didn't have an Xbox. I was just getting slapped around by two people who were much better than me. And so that was a bit rough. So I didn't really like Halo at the time. I wasn't really a fan. I was actually quite the opposite of a fan. Um, but then later, uh, Halo Reach came out, and then MCC and stuff. So started to get into that, and then eventually I got an Xbox One, right? And um, up until this point, when we started playing Reach, when it was just like two of us playing, we would do Firefight, right? And I'm like, oh, I can get behind Firefight because I'm not getting the actual life beaten out of me. So that's pretty fun. So that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed Firefight and Reach, and that made me kind of partial to want Reach. So when I got an Xbox One, um, then I got Reach, and I played Reach on the Xbox One. Um, and I loved Reach. I loved Firefight. I loved Firefight so much that I actually played the campaign. Would you believe that? I did everything out of order. I played a ton of Firefight. Then I was like, you know what? I like this game so much. We'll actually play the campaign. So then I went and I beat Reach, and then I tried some of the multiplayer while it was still going around. Um, I don't know how hard it is to find a match on OG Reach now. I usually just use MCC. But I played some of the multiplayer on OG Reach and got absolutely dogged on again. But I didn't care. I did not care because this time I had an actual team. It wasn't just a free for all of me getting, clobbered. So I was having fun in that. And Reach was my main game, right? So for any context, Reach being the first game, the first Halo game that I really enjoyed, maybe that makes my opinion invalid. It's tough to say. I suppose commenters will have to let me know that. So Reach was the main one, and then I bought MCC because I really like doing split screen games. I had this whole like system link going on where I could link two Xboxes together, and we could do like 8-player LAN parties with Xbox Ones, and obviously Halo is the only candidate for that. So I bought two copies of MCC, but then I would only do LAN parties of like 8 people. I did not do any campaign. So for a long time, I was like getting nothing. Okay, I wasn't getting nothing because the multiplayer is peak, all right, but I was getting like I was getting a fraction of what I could have gotten out of MCC. And that went on for a pretty long time. I was like, I'm content. I just beat Reach. I don't really have an interest in the other ones. I played like one, maybe two missions of CE co-op with some friends, but that was it. I think for quite some time until I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. Um, it feels like it's been longer, but Halo time dilation or whatever just sucks me in. But yeah, probably a couple years ago, I got more into it and started actually playing the campaigns. I beat CE, then I went through, beat Halo 2 on my own, beat Halo 3, didn't beat Halo 4, but I beat Reach again and then ODST. So I kind of just went all in on that, and then for some reason I got a ton of lore like on YouTube from for Halo recommended to me, and so I just like dove all in, and I'm like, wow, never in my life has it gone downhill this fast, A couple months later, now I'm a Halo nerd. Look at that. I could tell you all about the Spartan program, and is that a fact I'm proud of? It's really tough to say. It's really tough to say. I'm gonna go no. But, but yeah, so I got really into those games, and then I was like, okay, well, some of my friends are already into them, but I have friends that aren't. So now it's my life mission to pull them into it as well. So one of my like closest friends, we started doing co-op of all the games. We started Legendary CE, then we did Legendary Halo 2, um, then we beat Legendary Halo 3. We just beat Legendary ODST, and next up is Legendary Reach. And then we're gonna see if we continue. We want to do Infinite, but I don't know about Halo 4 and 5. He hasn't. I played some of Halo 4, not a ton of Halo 5, but that's for later on in the story, I suppose. So yeah, next up is Reach, and that's where I'm at currently. Just playing a ton of Halo. Love the campaigns. Love Firefight. Um, but you know, those are the older games. I love the older games. Reach is still my favorite. Just, you know, maybe it's nostalgia, but I think it really is. It really just does hold up amazing. But I do love the original trilogy. I love ODST. I know that there was a controversy with how much it costed when it first came out, but since I wasn't around for that, I love ODST. Um, but yeah, so that's where I'm at. I love all those original games. Let's see if I can save this guy. Probably beaten them each like a couple times. Like probably beaten them each 3 times. But then we get to the later Halo games, and this is where my opinions get a bit murky. Like I said, I've probably beaten like half of Halo 4, but there's something about it that just doesn't speak to me really. I don't like the art style change. I don't really like what they're doing with the story. I don't know. Maybe I need to beat it all the way through, but from what I've heard, it's you know, I don't know. It's not. It obviously can't hold a candle to the OGs, right? And then Halo 5, I've heard, is the worst story, but probably best multiplayer. I do not own Halo 5, so I don't know. Um, hey, let's not do that. I forgot, this is a Halo 3. This is a Halo 3 brute. What am I scared of? So, Halo 5, haven't touched it at all. I've touched some of 4, maybe a little bit of 4's multiplayer, but really just played like half the campaign. That's about it. Oh, and some Spartan Ops, because I was like, oh, it's like Firefight. It is not like Firefight. It is not. It is not like Firefight at all. Um, And then Infinite. That's where I really jumped in. So the free multiplayer, I jumped into the multiplayer when it was hot and ready, right? I've never been right at a Halo multiplayer's launch. Really, I've never paid attention to a Halo's launch before Halo Infinite. So that was my opportunity to jump in there and not get smacked around like a little rag doll. And I did not. And I loved Halo. I loved Halo Infinite's multiplayer. I don't play it as much now, mainly because I don't have it installed, I guess is the best reason, because I don't really have any other reason than that. I thought it was a ton of fun, so I would probably go back to it if my friends were into it. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that at launch. I think it was just fun, like classic multiplayer that I could hop into without any worry. The thing I didn't really like about like, uh, I do like COD, but at a certain point it's like, wow, it really feels like a grind fest going on here. And Halo doesn't feel like that. It feels very chill. I do wish that Infinite, the only thing I wish I had from Infinite was the Halo Reach like customization. Earning credits and building out your Spartan like that just felt like the best progression system they could have come up with. And I'm kind of disappointed that Halo Infinite didn't, but I know that the trend in gaming right now is, you know, cosmetics are going to cost you real money. I'm like, okay, whatever. As long as you're not able to just buy the gravity hammer, I guess. So really liked that. I didn't get Halo Infinite's campaign for a bit. It was actually gifted to me by someone who bought it with an Xbox and then was like, "Oh wait, I'm a PC gamer at heart," and then and then got rid of everything. So they were like, "Hey, do you want Halo Infinite?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So then we actually went in and we played the campaign together, doing like a trade-off on death thing, and we just kind of sped run it a little bit, and that was a ton of fun. Um, just playing through the missions. I think that Halo Infinite really just got so much right. I thought that the campaign was a ton of fun. We beat just we didn't really do a ton of the side activities. We just kind of went in and beat the missions. But after that, since then, I have gone and I've completed like almost every activity in the world because I just find it so much fun to hang out in Halo Infinite's world. I get it; it has less variety. That's the most common complaint I've heard. Like, oh, there's no variety because you're on one segment of it. Oh, you're on one segment of a Halo ring. There's not a ton of like visual uh, difference between areas. But I didn't mind. I was just glad that there was a good Halo campaign, and I enjoyed it. I don't know. I think that 343 has kind of a tendency, like if we're gonna jump to talk about the story specifically, I think that 343 has a tendency to want to be like, oh my God, look, it's the Didact, it's the Guardians, it's the Endless. They like really want their ancient race to be the new big bad, and I think that that is a mistake because they have introduced three different ones in three different games. That is probably not a good sign. So I didn't really like that, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think that the next one is going to launch and it's going to have something completely different, unfortunately. But I do think that Halo Infinite is a good start for like art style and gameplay and stuff because that gameplay was peak. I love that they added Firefight. That is the main reason that me and some friends returned to Halo Infinite recently is because of Firefight. Once they added that, we were like, oh yeah, we're going in. We're gonna co-op, just demolish some Covenant because fighting the AI in Halo Infinite is a ton of fun, and getting to fight them together is great. I do wish the Halo Infinite had some different features. You know, maybe they should have prioritized co-op campaign. You know, split screen stuff like that. Maybe they could have, you know, not had a horrible menu system. I really don't like Halo Infinite's menus when you get into like the main menu is fine and all that, but there are some menus in there where it's like, wow, am I just browsing a wall of text like or not a wall of text but like it looks like Netflix. It looks like I'm browsing Netflix and I hate that. Just make it simple. Like Halo 3, amazing menu. Halo Reach, amazing menu. Why can't I have that? Why can't we have nice things? Um, but yeah, so I loved Halo Infinite. Didn't really get caught by 4. Had no interest to try 5. I just think that there's still some mismanagement showing through with Infinite, but I hope that they're able to weed that out with their next game. Who knows if they will be able to? It is 343. Oh, I'm sorry. Halo Studios still messing that up. I'm hopeful though. Unreal Engine, apparently the next game will be a remake of CE, and then they're going to do like a whole remake of the trilogy. Those are the rumors right now, at least. I think that that would be kind of creatively bankrupt. Like, amazing games, amazing stories. Remakes, I would absolutely play them, but I think it's just kind of whatever. Like, I really want new news stories. I love Halo Wars 2. I love Halo Wars 1. Reach, ODST, love all those games. Why can't we get like the Halo universe has so much potential for other stories. I just think that the mismanagement is crazy because if if I was in the position of like 343 after Halo Reach and they're like, okay, you make a Halo game now, Bungie is gone, I'd be like, oh, dude, we got some ground to explore here before the return of the Chief. You know, there's some serious stuff we can do. I wouldn't have immediately jumped in with Halo 4 and been like, okay, Master Chief is back and he looks different now. How do you feel about that? We changed everything you love about Halo. What do you think? I would not have done that. I would have done more side stories like ODST, Reach, and okay, buddy, you're like I said, you're a Halo 3 brute. I'm not really scared. Reach, ODST, and the Halo Wars games. I'm glad that they did. I think that for Halo Wars 2 and Halo Infinite being like I think 343's most recent games, those are good signs. I really like both those games. And so I hope that they continue on this trend, but I guess it's really up in the air. But yeah, I would have done more side stories. I think that's what they should do, honestly. I think that Halo Infinite would have worked better with someone besides the Chief, if I'm honest. Because it's just him on a Halo ring beating out the Banished. It could have been any Spartan on that ship, and why can't I think of the name of the ship now? That's Infinity, the Infinity. Um, it could have been any Spartan on that ship that got like thrown onto the Halo ring and had to fight the Banished, and I almost think it might have worked well like that, but I get it. You got to give the Chief a good story after Halo 4 and 5. You got to give him something positive. So luckily, I guess it was the Chief, but I think that they got to do some more exploration with other stories in the Halo universe, really. Um, I don't know. I'm hopeful for the future, but as it stands right now, I think that Halo Infinite, great game. I wish it was on the disc. I don't know why it's not. I have the physical like disc of Halo Infinite, and if I wanted to go back in 20 years and just install it to my Xbox off the disc, I cannot. So that's kind of unfortunate because I think that would be awesome if I could just pop in the disc, install Halo Infinite, like the whole open world from the disc. That would be amazing. I would love that, but I cannot do that unfortunately. Okay, that was a rough position. But yeah, overall, I do think Halo Infinite, great game. Love the multiplayer, love the campaign. I just think it had some crucial flaws that needed to be ironed out. Um, but they're on an upward trend, and that is a positive thing, luckily. And then, you know, we always have the original games. I guess if they're, like, how much could they... I probably shouldn't say that, actually. I was going to say, how much could they mess up remakes of the original games? I think that current 343 is in a good position to remake the original games. But if they start showing, you know, design decisions like Halo 4 and 5, then it's not good. Oh, look at that. As it got pretty rowdy. And so, right now, I'm like, it's okay if they remake the original games, especially if they, you know, make really awesome games. I think Halo 2 Anniversary is an amazing, amazing Anniversary Edition. I wish that Halo CE and Halo 3 got something like Halo 2 Anniversary, because Halo CE is... like, it got Anniversary, but it doesn't feel like Halo 2 Anniversaries. Halo 2 Anniversaries is really, really good. So I wish that CE got something like that. But hopefully these new remakes can be that for the original trilogy, right? Make Halo 1, 2, and 3 just amazing games, because they'll hold up, I'm pretty sure. We'll see. We'll see. So if they make good remake of the original trilogy, then that's solid, but I would really like to see just all the potential of Halo be explored, you know? Make us more side games, like, where's Halo Wars 3, you know? Make us third-person ODST game, I don't know. Just mess around with stuff. That's what I would say, because what they're doing now is not working. They got to do some experimentation. So yeah, because this should be a giant in the industry, but it is not, and that is rough. That is rough. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on Halo. You know, I have my likes and my dislikes. I like pretty much every game except I haven't touched 4 and 5, and I think it's, well, I haven't touched 5. I've touched 4 a little bit, and based off of that, I think it's best if I don't touch it again. It just, it's not my, I don't know, doesn't feel the same. So I guess we'll see how things play out. I'm hoping for a good future for Halo with what they've shown off with the Unreal Engine demo and all that, and their most recent, like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really banking on the fact that their most recent games have been Halo Wars 2 and Halo Infinite. I'm like, okay, those are such an upward trend. Please tell me that they continue it, and they make amazing games with whatever they do next. Okay, well, that's probably a good place to call it. But yeah, so that's my headspace at the moment. That's how I feel about the franchise. You know, we got amazing games. If more continue to come, I would be happy. But I don't know. Don't hold your breath. There's a reason Forge is around. That's your endless fun right there. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.